Hi, I'm Casey Hill with SavvyCat Solutions, and in this video tutorial we're going to do a quick introduction to Zapier. And in this introduction we're going to create a Zap that will be able to automatically make a Google Calendar event from an email that's been generated from your practice management software. So what you'll need to do in order to be able to generate this type of an email would be have a practice management software that lets you template emails out that you can send under various circumstances. I used to use eVetPractice and it could do that, and basically what I would do is craft an email an email template that would say whatever I wanted it to say in it. So we're not going to use any specific practice management software, we're just going to make the email in Gmail and send it off to trigger our Zap. But the point of this Zapier Zap would be that it would be triggered automatically from your practice management software. We're going to show you the type of syntax you're going to need to use in that email in order to be able to pick up the important fields and put it into your Google Calendar. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start by making a new Zap. So here we are in the Zapier dashboard. We're going to click Make a Zap. And we want this Zap to trigger off of an email by Zapier. So it's a special kind of email, and what happens is you're going to get a special email address. So test Zap. We can just name it whatever we want. I'm calling it test Zap. You can call it calendar Zap or whatever you want to call it, and copy this to clipboard. So that's an email address that we're going to be sending our email to. And so you're going to go into your practice management software, or in our case, Gmail, and we're going to send emails to that address. So this is going to be something that triggers whenever you create a new appointment, or you might have your receptionist or yourself manually do it. But because you've got your practice management software, it's going to fill in all the special fields for you. And then it's going to go to this address. So just like you might send an email to your client, you can send this email to yourself or this special address. So it doesn't really matter what we put in the subject, but we'll just call it a test email. And now we're going to fill in the text, and this is what you're going to put into the template of your practice management software or whatever you're using to automate your emails. And here's the syntax we're going to need to use. Basically, any field that we want to be able to draw out and put into special places in our calendar, we have to name this way. So address is one we're going to want to put into our calendar appointment for sure. And then here is where you would put into your template the client's address using your practice management software. But here we'll just put the address. Okay, and notice that there's no space and that all of our address is inside parentheses. So the parentheses, everything inside of them is what's going to be used later. We're going to want appointment type. Again, no spaces here in between appointment and type. And this one will be a euthanasia. We're going to need client phone. We don't have to say client. Phone number. And don't put parentheses inside your parentheses. It'll close the parentheses prematurely. And then so these are some things we'll need for our appointment in our Google Calendar, because as we're going to this visit, we might need to call the client. So it's nice to have right there in front of us. Let's get our pet's name. We're going to have this patient be named Fluffy. And let's get our client name. We'll have this client be named Andrew Smith. And whatever other relevant information you're going to want in this calendar event. Mine usually have a bunch of other stuff, like how much the client's going to owe, what kind of aftercare they wanted, so that I remember what I'm going to be doing as I get in there. But this is enough information for now. So we're going to go ahead and send that off to that weird email address, and that will be how we can test our Zap. So we're going to use that data that we just created. So we're waiting for samples to come in, so it's looking for that email we just sent. And again, what's going to happen is you're going to be generating that email using your practice management software. So here we go. We've got our email. This has all of our information in it. So we'll continue along. And now what we want to do with that information is create a Google Calendar event, of course. So, oh, you know what else we needed in there that was super important? We needed to have let's just grab that out of sent mail. We needed to also have in there the time of the appointment. So we're just going to send one more. And we'll have it be at 9 o'clock a.m. on 9/20/2018. Okay, let's send that one. We'll go back here and grab that new email that we just sent. Obviously, when we're creating a Google Calendar event, we're going to need to be able to pick a time. Okay, so this is the one with time and date. Perfecto. Let's continue. Okay, now we're going into Google Calendar. And we're going to create a detailed event. And we'll go ahead and create it on our Savvy Cats calendar. We've got to specify the calendar within our account, which is, there's a general calendar within your account, but you can have other calendars. You can see on Savvy Cats we have a few. And the summary. So here's where we're going to want to start using our special fields we created. So when we look for all the things we can pick between, we can take the whole body of the email, which we don't really want, but we can also grab some special data. So here we see all those special fields we created, and now we've got our variable names. It even put that space in between apt and type because I camel cased it, which means I put a capital letter in the middle of the word. That makes it into the word that we mean it to be, so it's easier to find in here. So we want the appointment type, and we'll add in some words. And let's pick our pet's name here. Whose owner's name is our client name, which is right here. And we'll close those parentheses. You can have this formatted however you want. This is going to be the summary of the event that you're creating. In the description, we might say, what other information did we give ourselves? Here's where I often will put in things like, okay, here's our client's phone number, in case I need to call them. You might also put in your appointment details if you've created more fields, like your presenting complaint, all of that sort of thing you can put into that email, and it can then show up here in your description. Location, we're going to want to use address. So I'm just making it a little easier to find by typing in some keywords here, and we're going to start on date and at time. Great. Within within Zapier, you're going to be setting your default time zones and that sort of thing. If you don't set a default, it's just going to put this in the time zone of your calendar. So it does require an end date and time. So I use the same ones, copy and paste, and then space plus, and here you can put in how long your event is going to be. 1 hour. You can put in 90 minutes. However long you want it to be. You can pick a specialized color if you want. They do use the codes, so you have to guess or go in and type this into an HTML color chooser, but I'm not going to do that stuff. You can pick all of the things you want to do if you want a reminder. Otherwise, it'll just leave you on your calendar defaults. So let's go ahead and continue. And let's do a test. The most likely part to trip up this test is going to be that +1 hour. If you try to do +1.5 hour, it's not going to work. You have to do that one in minutes. It's trial and error. It's one of those things. But we've gone ahead and made our test, so let's pop over to our calendar and see if it has appeared. Well, look at that. We've got our new appointment that we just made. It's happening at 9 a.m. on Thursday the 20th, just as we asked it to. Here's a phone number for our client should we need it on the way. And when we're going to the client, we can open this up on our smartphone and just click right here. So anybody who has the ability to customize automated emails from their practice management software or any other way can create this type of workflow that will automatically put an event right into their Google Calendar. Changing this event is not going to go back in time and change your information in your practice management software. It's a one-way flow unless you set up Zapier to go the other way. So I hope this has been helpful, and this is just a tiny little peek at the sorts of things Zapier can do. I will show you my dashboard real quick. Each one of these, so that was a 1-step zap like this one. This is a 15-step zap. Each one of these is yet another thing that I do with Doorstep Vet using Zapier in order to automate my processes. See how many steps are in here? You can get really complicated and do a lot of really cool stuff. So I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys with the next video.